There's when you feel like a person, a separate person, there's a really felt feeling of moving in time and space into the future and having the past behind you and being in the present. It's very, feels very real for the person. So it does actually feel almost like we've entered a new year now. It feels real. And that's all in appearance. That's what's being shared here, is that time, space, cause and effect, all of these things come from a sense of control, come from a lived sense of feeling separate, a lived sense of feeling like a person who has a life in a thing called life. So there's this thing called life, and I'm muddling my way through it, into the future. And I have this life, and what happens in my life is a result of the things I do or don't do. And that's the way it feels. If that feels absolutely real and goes unquestioned, really, for the most part. And what's being shared here is that actually that's artificial. That's an appearance. And when you feel like that, when you feel like a separate person, there's a sense of living in the real. It's a subject-object reality. You're the subject and everything else is an object to your subject. So actually things aren't seen as they actually are. The natural reality isn't seen by the person because nothing can't be seen by something. You feel like somebody, something looking, and what's actually yearned for is already what appears to be. This is the big paradox. What's yearned for is simply what appears to be happening, which is ridiculous to the person who lives in this yearning for something other and this hopeful anticipation of something better around the next corner. So for it to just be simply what's appearing to happen is ludicrous. This whole thing is ludicrous to the person, what's being suggested here. But the person isn't being spoken to here. There is no separate individual. There's nobody being spoken to here. This is a sharing from nothing and is an energetic resonance, is not to do with understanding or knowing or getting anything. So it's a resonance. It's just an energetic resonance of what you already are. This is already completely known. You are nothing being everything, everything being nothing. You are already just energy. And that sense you have of being a separate person is artificial. It never even happened. It never even started. It's an appearance. So we'll see what happens in the next hour. So if there's a question, it's there to be asked. As I always say, there's no real silly questions as long as this is, engaged with genuinely. I mean, it doesn't matter really. It's the question doesn't matter actually. It's not about an answer to a question. It's that it can be seen. There's no questions. There's just, it's very simple. It's very ordinary. It's too obvious. It's appearing to hide by already being everything.
Hi, Kenneth. Is it okay to ask questions now?
Yeah, you go ahead.
So there is a recognition. What you are saying is all correct, but at the same time, how do you know? Like, we don't know anything. Everything is unknown. So when you are saying like there is nothing, I mean there is nothing, and when somebody is saying no, there is something. Both are not. What I am thinking is both are not real. Like when you are saying there is no afterlife or there is no cause and effect, I get all of that. I mean, I get it. I recognize all of that. But at the same time, how are you so certain? Or is it just you are trying to break the views of, okay, somebody says there is afterlife and you are saying no, there is no afterlife. Is that a way to break the other person's view, or are you saying all are not there because everything is concept, everything is story? So if everything is story, then there's nothing true. That's why, or you,
Yeah,
because
but this
you
is
can't.
it doesn't come from knowing. So it's not that I know something that I'm sharing. It's not to do with understanding or knowing. This is completely from nothing. There's nobody here that accesses some bank of knowledge to share with other people, because what's yearned for is energetic. It's not to do with understanding. It cannot be understood or known. So the sharing is very much in that. It's from nothing. It's just it's got a boundlessness to it because it's not mine. It's nothing to do with anybody, and it's pointing towards what can't be known or spoken or said, but which is already very obvious and open. It's just what appears to be. As regards, there's no agenda in it. So when your examples, like as regards someone saying afterlife or whatever, yeah, the response would be the response. It depends what's said, but everything is a story as regards what the person kind of lives. The person lives in the real. Everything is real to the person. Their real life is real, and actually everything is real and unreal. But the unreal isn't seen. It can't be seen. So what they take to be real is a story. What they take their life to be real. I'm real. My job is real. My marriage is real. My relationship is real. Everything is real. And it's actually everything, that all of those things are actually a story. It's just energy. That can't be seen by the person. The individual can't. Like the individual could conceptually kind of understand that, or could conceptually come to some kind of understanding of that, but that wouldn't be what's being suggested or pointed at. It's not actually graspable or knowable, or understandable. It's just energetic. And it's
Yes.
so when you say you don't get it, like you won't ever get it. Nobody's ever gotten it. I don't get it. It's the immediacy of what appears to be. It is and it isn't. But for a person, you feel it is or it isn't. It can't be both is and isn't. It's a living in something. It's living in the real. It's a living in a world of objects, and it's very dissatisfying.
Yes. I understand what you are saying. I don't know whether it's conceptual or otherwise.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like not only you, all these non-duality speeches, they say there is nothing. So I'm not sure how you are so certain. I'm not sure everybody how they are so certain there is nothing. I mean, I get it. I get that it's a story. There's nothing to hold on to. At the same time, how do we say there's nothing when we don't know? Like,
well, it's not said with a sense of authority that I know that there's nothing. That's the whole point. There's no authority at all in anything, actually. Authority is very much a feature of separation. That is some higher authority that knows. This isn't being shared in that manner, in which I know something and you can know it too. Not at all. It's completely, this is living in the unknowing. This is unknowing. There's nobody here that knows about nothing. These are just words that are shared. And the words that are shared seem to be the ones that are less confusing and seem to try and point as clearly as words can, but the words are very limited in that way. So it doesn't really matter how it's said. It's heard as it's heard.
yes. And one more question. So
I suppose to answer your question, I don't know that there's nothing. I don't know anything about nothing. I'm not speaking from me knowing something about everything being nothing and all of that. If I was, it would be very different communication. It would have a totally different energy to it.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I get it. I recognize. And the other person, I mean, not I know there's recognition that there is nothing here. But other question is, I mean, there is recognition. Seeking strengthen the illusion of me. But at the same time, like when I hear non-duality speak talk, there's always they are all saying this is like a paradise. This is so beautiful, like,
Mm,
and that sort of strengthen the seeking energy. I stop seek. I mean, it just thinking there's something else because they are always talking about it's like paradise. It's so beautiful. All of that strengthen the seeking energy, but that is again an illusion.
so
Like,
first of all, there's no such thing as non-duality. It's just a story. It's a term that points towards something that can't be said. And most of what falls under the banner of non-duality is nonsense. So when you say to all these people, I have no idea who you're referring to, but most of what falls under non-duality is just something that speaks to the person. So it's not actually non-dual at all. It's someone who speaks to someone else about how they can get somewhere to oneness or whatever. And if they say it's like paradise or whatever, that sounds like a load of nonsense too, because it's not even describable. It's not anything. It's not. It's you know Anyway, I won't go
okay.
comment too much on that because I have no idea what those things that were said that you're referring to. Um, um,
Yeah. Thank
and
you. I got
that's it really. I mean, it's I had something else to say there, but it just evaporated.
okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thanks.
thank you.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, the seeking. Like it doesn't matter about seeking. People hear this and they think, oh, I'm doing something that's reinforcing the sense of me. So therefore, if I avoid these seeking activities, and then that sense of me won't be fed, then it's less of a chance to be a me. That's also a misconception. Of course it is a complete misconception, because if there's already no you, no separate you there, how could you, the separate you that's not there, do something to reinforce the separate you? It's you can't. This what's yearned for is completely, totally, and utterly unescapable. It's already just simply what appears to be. It's very simple, very ordinary. It's too ordinary. That's the problem, actually, for the person.
Hi, Kenneth.
Hi, Seed.
How are you?
I'm good, I
I
think. Yeah, I didn't really think about it too much. How are you? More
good,
importantly.
good. Yeah, yeah.
I
I was just
keep mixing up my time zones. I had this +1 plus thing then, and people are emailing me back. Oh man, you keep changing time zone. I
it's
think
alright
I'm.
with me because UK is the same as Dublin. So
Oh, I know. Most people it doesn't
yeah,
really matter, but anyway, you think I'd
yeah,
have it? You think I'd have it by now?
yeah. Okay. I was just thinking about I know there's no truth. Then it seems that there's a hope, and the question I want to ask was, can the hope be just what's happening?
Yeah, the hope is just what's happening. The hope isn't bad or good or anything. Hope is just literally is energy. It's just what's appearing to happen. Like it depends what you mean by hope. Hope can have very different qualities too, and it can be quite broad. But when I speak about hope, to do with the person, it's this energetic sense of it's not quite there. I'm not quite there yet. Oh, this I have this and this is going well and that's going well, but I'm not quite there yet. I need to do more of this, and I need to get this and I need to get that, and then I'll be there. It's always kind of around the corner, and that's when it's in that specific way. But it's not that there's anything wrong with hope. There's nothing wrong with anything. It's just something that can appear to happen.
Yeah, and you can't get rid of hope I'm trying to get rid of hope will be
Well,
more hope.
the person can think they can do all sorts of things. They can get rid of hope. They can do this, do that, do the other. But it's just that there is nobody there. It's not that you can't get rid of anything. It's that there's, what I'm saying is that there's no you there that can do or not do anything. So if hope is what we would describe as what's appearing to happen, then that would be what's appearing to happen. And what's being suggested is there's nobody there that it's happening to. And there never has been.
So me just a dead man walking.
Did you say you're a dead man walking?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Seems like that, like
Well, then that's what's happening there then. The description of feeling like you're a dead man walking. I don't know. Is that what it feels like when if there's no hope? Is that what you're saying?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That feels like a concept now. That if there was no hope, then there you'd be dead man walking. That there'd be nothing without hope. Then that's an idea there.
No, not exactly like dead man walking, like, but there's no. Yeah, those are the wrong words to choose. Yeah, it's like that. There's no one to do anything, no one to achieve anything.
Yeah, I mean it's all just a concept there, though. What's being shared here, what's being shared is not like any effort you make to understand what's being or know what's being shared is not gonna. You're not gonna. It's not imaginable or knowable or graspable. And the ludicrous thing about it is it's just so obvious and ordinary. It's incredible, and that's why there's often a lot of laughter when it's seen to be. It's just what's appearing to happen. It's very simple and ordinary. And then you're imagining what it's like to not be there. That's what you're doing there now. And already, the amazing thing is already there's nobody there. Already there's nobody spoke there. They're just speaking, they're sitting, there's sounds.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks. William was there and he's gone again. William's there and not there.
Well, I kind of want to talk to you, but I don't. At the same time, I know nothing that I talk about is going to get anywhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Like that can start to be very obvious. That you know, when this resonates, there can be a lot of questions. Question. The questions can kind of slow down, and then it can just be quite obvious that there's no answer to the question, really, that will satiate her, and that it's just energetic.
What I wanted to say to you is I absolutely am in love with this communication, but something I hate it at the same time. Like it's so beyond threatening. And it feels a bit schizophrenic how I keep alternating between loving this and thinking this is amazing, and then thinking I cannot log into.
No, it's not that unusual. It's just what's happening. That's just what's appearing to happen there. Not unusual at all, actually. Like it's quite a common reaction is to be to resonate with what's being shared and to also want to run away from it and to dislike it. Of course it is. It's even logical when you think about it. I mean, if this is resonating with what you are, which is already known, and then at the same time that feels like a person would also hate this, wouldn't they? Like that sense of being energetically would want to completely reject this.
Yeah, before logging into this meeting, the sense of dread of listening to this, it was just so strong. I was thinking I cannot log into. Obviously, I have, but
well, no. Hang on now a second. You didn't log into the meeting, and you're not speaking. Isn't that amazing, though? Just stick with that for a second. Isn't that amazing? You're not even laughing there. There's just laughter. It's very simple. You didn't do anything. Like, that's all a story now. Oh, you logged into the meeting and you and you asked a question. Hear that what's said there now. That's amazing. It's very simple, this. It's very ordinary. It's very obvious. There's just what's appearing to happen.
But that's what I was also thinking, was if there's already no one here, that whole energetic dread of
is to do with that energetic sense of feeling like a person that feels absolutely real. So that feels separate, yearns for, actually what's yearned for is your absence, and then what's most feared is your absence. So there's a huge dread around, a huge fear around this. And then the big joke is you're not even there. So nothing even happens.
Yeah, so nothing would even, if
nothing even happens, yeah.
So it wouldn't actually be a real change. Even.
No, it's not at all. Like, even, like, how many times have you heard me say that nothing happens? It's not a happening. I'm already not speaking to anyone here. There's already just a sharing. There's already just nothing being everything. And then people sometimes say, well, I'm a person. Fair enough. Or maybe not. Or they say something else or whatever. But all there is body minds that may experience themselves to be separate or not. But if they say in the next breath, well, I don't feel separate anymore from this, it doesn't see any difference because you were never there anyway. You see, that's why there's no agenda in the meeting then. Nobody even falls away. Nothing happens. This is already nothing being everything. Or nothing appearing to happen.
One of the things I do love about this is, obviously the person can't hear it, but over time that I'm listening to this, it seems there's less and less nonsense going on in my mind about this communication, and the message kind of cuts the stories.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It can really start to take away the whole narrative the person lives in.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's can appear to happen. Yeah, that's what's happening there. Then, the sense of everything being really solid and real can kind of not. It can feel not so much. It can become obvious that it's not so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, William. Hi, Christian.
Hi, Kenneth. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, well, not too bad. So when you say it's ordinary, it does resonate. But at the same time, if the current perspective on that here seemed to be that this conversation, once this meeting starts, and you enter the chat, you enter the place when frame of reference, any frame of reference has been removed, and the conversation moves, like the framework of conversation is just nearly twisted upon itself. And with that as an intellectual framework already, from what I just said, it feels like this ordinariness that does resonate. Differently. I would say it feels here like nothing is ordinary once you realize everything is ordinary. And I don't mean that to contradict, but it just feels like whatever residue that remains here, that it's kind of still pondering all this, which is obviously pointless. There's a sense that the ordinary reality is even weirder once the frame of reference is removed. Because at least with the frame of reference, you have your life to live and at some point die. But once the frame of reference is removed, every single moment is just bizarre happening. And
yeah, it's very natural. It's completely natural. It's to call it ordinary is not accurate, and no words can describe it. In the sense, probably better to say it's the collapse of ordinary, extraordinary, because it's non-duality. You know, it's the collapse of these opposites, special, not special, good, bad, inner, outer, ordinary, extraordinary. That all collapses, and there's simply just what appears to be, which is, you know, the reason it's referred to as ordinary is it's simply sitting on a chair, or it's looking out a window, or it's all, everything is nothing and nothing is everything, and that's totally indescribable. But you certainly couldn't imagine it or describe it or think that if this frame of reference, you know, that what you were saying there, that collapses, then it must, you know, that it's not imaginable. And it's very natural is probably the better word. It's just aliveness. It's and it's already the case for everyone. Everyone is already that. But then in that there's an energetic sense that they're this separate entity, and then that is like a veil through which nothing is seen as it actually is. There's this me that kind of appears to veil everything. And then when there is that, there's a yearning, and the yearning for the person feels like it's something, or a state, or an experience, or a thing. And that once being shared is that it's not. It's simply already what appears to happen. That's what's yearned for.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense that it's not seen, because it's so, as you say, and yet it's not seen.
It's not.
Really.
It's not. This communication is not supposed to make sense, really. It's everything and nothing. It's nonsensical. It's illogical. It's paradoxical. It's contradictory. It's everything. It's sanity and it's madness. It's everything but nothing. The person wants linear. You know, that's what the person lives in.
Yeah. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Nisha.
Hi. Isn't it difficult to to stay serious, you know, when I'm looking at you?
You don't have to stay serious. You don't have to do anything. You're not doing anything. You're not speaking there. It's amazing.
It looks like you are very serious.
Me? Oh. It's probably when what you see is trying to read messages and keep this whole show on the road, Anita.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Happy New Year.
Oh, you too. Thanks.
Thanks.
Hey, Galen.
Already, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Hi. Is my hand just okay? Well, it's not really a question.
Yeah, you're okay.
I just like to talk about this, and what what it's seen. It's like there is no fear. Everything is very normal, like you say, but there is something fresh in this message. It's that it doesn't matter what happens, what you do or not, or what you accomplish or what you say, because you're not saying it. So it feels very freeing.
Oh yeah, there's an amazing boundlessness to this that is to do with that it doesn't come from me. It's nothing to do with me. So when you hear a clear message, it's nothing at all to do with any character. That's the amazing thing about it. And then there can be this boundlessness to it, because actually it's just from nothing, and it has no agenda, and it's just a sharing, and then it has a completely different quality to it. It's amazing, and it really is. Some people pick up on that immediately.
It's fun to be alive, even doing something very ridiculous, like nothing very important. It's like fun to be alive.
Oh yeah. When this is seen, it's just aliveness. Everything is just. There's an in loveness with what appears to be, because you, instead of feeling like a person who has a life, who's kind of trotting through life and doing things, you don't feel like you. So there's just what's appearing to happen, and it's just aliveness, and it doesn't matter if it's what it is that appears to happen, and there's a sense of wonder, childlike wonder in that. It's amazing.
Yes. Yeah. And no burden, at the beginning of the year, like now, usually people try to have objectives.
Oh,
in French, des bonnes résolutions in French, but I don't know what you say in English, but it never works. I don't know if people recognize that. It never works. You try to have objectives, and maybe it works sometime, but the point is you don't need to have any objective. You never had objectives, so just...
Yeah. Objectives can appear to happen.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. It's just, the difference is it doesn't matter. They don't mean anything. No. And some people feel that they do. They would have a lived feeling that the objectives do work for them, because they reach them. There is a kind of a real feeling of kind of setting goals, doing A, B, and C, and then arriving at the goal at D, and then a really felt feeling that they did that. And that's the sense of being a person. It's very real for the person.
It's only life that does it.
Yeah, and it's another way to look at it is it's just what appeared to happen, and it's also devoid of any meaning or significance whatsoever. But not for the person. It has to be meaningful in some way. And that's the way it is. Yeah, there's a kind of constant striving as a person to...
Don't like that.
yeah. It's exhausting. Like I want more this and less that. I want more this and less that. And it's constantly kind of tweaking and working and on yourself, and it's just...
It's a burden.
Yeah.
And I want just to say hello to William, because he's always there in the meetings, and it's fun to see him asking questions. He won't disappear if he just let go the William thing, because
no, we can't afford for William to go.
No,
because he's a big asset to these things.
Yes,
everyone loves William.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Hi, Marissa.
I'm unmuted now. Hi, it's such a pleasure to see you. I'm gonna take my hand down. Man, I've been thinking a lot about, I guess it's not really, it's just a lot of contemplation happening, kind of amazement about how there's kind of this simultaneous devastation and relief somehow with the way that this message resonates here. It's the complete death and any possibility of a future arrival, the complete death and a better version or an ultimate version of something. And it's sometimes it feels maddening. Sometimes it feels maddening, because it's all this energy that was invested for so long, and this emotional state isn't it, I gotta do it just feels like even the concept of getting into another state just feels like nonsense. Because it's already just free fall through free fall anyway, and it's there's never been anyone driving the bus or whatever, and sometimes there's anger. It's what, but then it's also this undeniable relief, because it's there's no possibility of upkeeping or maintaining anything. It's just...
and there's nothing that needs to be done. There's nobody to do anything, and everything that appears to happen is already it. It's already whole and complete, and Yeah. Like free fall, like you said. Yeah.
It's just, wow. It's just such a, it's so funny because the funny thing here too is that it's been like, I think even for a while there was sort of a sense, like when I first encountered this uncompromising message, it was like at least there was a sense of specialness attached to this message. So it was like, okay, nothing's really special, but this message is special because it shows it not. And then now it's even feeling like, well, this message is just resonating, but even that's not really special. It's not like I've got something.
No, it's yeah, if it's really heard, the specialness completely falls out of it as well. Yeah. It's like
every rod just pulling out.
Totally. Yeah. And it's very much not like you have something that other people don't have. It's not like that at all, because I mean, all there is energy. All there is unconditional love. And then, they report themselves to be separate, or people. So it's like people appear to have something that you no longer have, if anything. Whereas the person would imagine that if they got this, which is not gettable, that they would somehow be special or have something that other people don't have. They're kind of the reverse of that. Yeah. It's the complete. It's a complete leveler. It's totally levels everything. It is completely beyond what you would have imagined or thought it would be. It's just so stunningly obviously just what is and isn't, and what appears to be. Yeah.
I mean, it's undeniable, and it's even like, I mean, here I guess the sense can be sometimes there can still seem to be a sense of people say contracted energy, and it's like funny because even that, it seems obvious now that even if that's apparently happening, it's like, well, that's even the sense of personal or contractedness, even that's just
also what's appearing to happen. Yeah.
So it's like, it just, it's like, it's not like there's a better version down the road where then there's no more contracted energy ever, because even that's just an idea that's just happening too. So it's like,
you're absolutely hitting the nail on the head. Yeah, that's exactly it. That it's just seeing that there's just energy, there's just what's appearing to happen. So if that's a sense of separation, well, then that's a sense of separation. That's just what's appearing to happen. So somewhere in that whole game, that whole sense of being a person who really feels like a person, if it's, oh no, I'm a person again and I'm separate again, the kind of center has apparently fallen out of that then, apparently fallen out, and it's just seen, right, there's just whatever appears to happen. It does not matter what it is anymore. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your sharing. It's such a joy. It's really a treat.
Yeah, thank you. Lovely to hear from you. Nice colorful jumper there coming at me. Whoa.
Thank you.
Christian, hiya.
Hey, sorry to take some extra time here. I just thought, but at the same time, especially when I've heard the person before last mention, like the New Year commitments, right? Planning to change, joining the gym, learning a skill, growing muscle, getting slimmer, or whatever. All those things are still within, without. They don't like disappearing. Having motivation to learn to play guitar, having motivation to go to the gym, it doesn't contradict that. It's like it's not excluded from this message.
No.
Right?
So going to the gym would appear to happen. Yeah. Playing guitar would appear to happen. Learning a song, and then learning a more difficult song on the guitar, and then a more difficult song on the guitar would be what's appearing to happen.
Yeah.
But that's different to feeling like a person who's learning the guitar and who feels like there's somewhere to get to, and then there's a whole different energy to that. Or feeling someone who's going to the gym and who feels, I'm not quite there yet, I'm not quite fit enough when I do this and blah blah blah. It's the same, and it's totally different.
What about then while getting some of the message, that's what I think experience, and still finding it playful to be able
that's
to
just what's appeared to happen there.
Yeah.
That's just what's appeared to happen. There's no right or wrong with this. There's nothing being asked of anybody here at all, because there's nobody here. There's no people here at this so there's no right or wrong. So if somebody feels that they want to kind of maybe engage with this on a conceptual way and be playful with it, then that's what's appearing to happen. It doesn't matter. It's not about concepts, it's not about knowing, it's not about understanding, it's about a energetic resonance with this, that contracted sense of being separate can appear to collapse. And what's being pointed towards is seen by nobody, and it's very, very, very obvious and ordinary. And it's then, there's no Zoom meeting, there's no non-duality, it's all of that then is a story. And there's only just what appears to happen, which is in utter free fall.
And once the meeting's over, and well, is there any? I know it's not, but I feel like I want to ask for you, Kenneth. I know there is no you there, but the meeting at some point finishes, and there might be a wife or kids to put to bed, or there might be a work tomorrow, and
my wife puts herself to bed usually.
Yeah, okay. Yes. But there might be work, there might be
there's what appears to happen. There's only energy, so there's just what appears to happen. There's nobody doing it. So whatever example you give up, it's the same thing. But for a person, there's a feeling that they put their wife to bed, and they put their kids to bed, and they go to work, and they get up, they do the shopping, and they pay the bills or don't pay the bills, and that's that whole sense of feeling like a person who's in control of their life. And what's being shared here is that it's all a story. There's nobody there never has been. There's just what's appearing to happen. That's not imaginable by a person, because a person can only imagine someone there to do it. It's beyond comprehension that it would even appear to happen without somebody doing it.
So the difference is that there truly never was a person in the first place that had an ambition. That's what it's seen there, which is probably...
the difference is not describable. Like, the difference is between feeling like a person. In one way it's nothing, and in another way it's everything. It's the same, and it's indescribably different. There's already nobody. Like, there's just anyone who feels like a person. It's just it's an artificial sense of feeling like a person. And that's what appears to happen. And when you no longer feel like a person, come back on this Zoom and try and describe it. And we'll all have a good laugh, because you won't be able to. It's not describable. Nobody has ever been able to describe it yet. And any efforts that are made are simply a pointing towards something that's very ordinary already and very obvious, which is either heard or not.
Thanks.
So, thank you. Hi, Dario.
Hi, Kenneth. It appears here that it becomes harder to remember these meetings.
Oh, yeah.
In general, because there's no conceptualization about what this message is about. Like, there's no...
Yeah, it doesn't matter anyway. Like, it's not as if attending the meeting has any meaning or significance or will do anything.
I was wanting to ask if you have any tips to remember the meetings, or also in
well, I would be the wrong person to give. I would be the wrong person to give tips since I keep giving out the wrong times for my own meeting. So, you know.
I think
maybe that would be the first tip. Just get the time zone right when I'm sending it out.
You must do a great job, though. They helped me. Thank you.
Yeah, well, no, I used to just send a weekly, not a monthly one for a while, and then I figure
people keep forgetting.
People keep forgetting, yeah. So then I just send one out, and people go, "Oh yeah, there's the meeting." Yeah. But it's amazing that there actually is no meeting. Like you could say it's real and unreal. So in the real there's a Zoom meeting that's been hosted by Kenneth. The people are attending, and there's a suggestion being made and whatever. Actually, it's just energy, and there's no beginning or end or middle, or it's just it's a story. It's an appearance, and that goes with everything. You know.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hi, Joey.
Hey, Kenneth.
Hey.
Funny, because, you know, I have this feeling that, you know, I've been listening to this for a decade or so. And I was absolutely convinced that I was making progress.
Yeah, I was very happy with your progress at one point there.
It was really good for a while, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was very pleased with your progress. I said, Joey, I could not be happier with the progress you're making.
And it's the realization that I haven't moved an inch.
No, there's nowhere to progress to.
It's a funny thing because it's like it somehow correlates with the fact that there's somewhere to go, there's some place to arrive at.
Yeah.
You know, but it's the same mental, you know, it's the same stuff.
Yeah, there's no,
you know, nothing changed.
It's totally and utterly beyond the mind. It's not. What happens really, I think, is that there's a resonance with non-duality, and then there's a concept of what's been shared, and then there's you know, that gets kind of filled out then, and it feels different to maybe ordinary life or whatever. But whatever concept that is will be bust at some point, because it's totally beyond any idea of what anyone would have of it. And it's so ordinary.
And it's completely hopeless.
It's totally hopeless, yeah. Totally and utterly hopeless. It's not describable. It's just sitting on a chair, speaking, sound. But for the person, that's too ordinary, and that's just all the time. There's still a sense of being a person that just doesn't cut the mustard. That's like that's like
when you say that as a person, I hear that it's like some place that I have to arrive at.
Yeah.
It's devastating, really.
Yeah, for the person, it's totally devastating, totally hopeless. Of course it is. It has to be.
Sorry, my dog is whining me. Yeah, it wants to understand something. It wants to, you know. It's actually what happened in this case was that, you know, there was a total resonance energetically with this.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Upon hearing it.
Yeah.
But then this whole reality was built up around it. And
yes.
It was like a hope of getting somewhere.
Of
It was the
course,
same
yeah.
thing over again.
Yeah,
I'm
you just
sitting
kind of
here and I'm
turning it
realizing-
into something.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I'm sitting here and I'm realizing it's, you know, nothing really has changed. It might be more subtle, maybe, you know, like the all those things that are going on that I think are in the way of this, you
Yeah.
know, my personal whatever thought patterns or
Yeah,
whatever.
but all of those things that you think are in the way of this, that's just another concept then. If you think there's something in the way of this, then that's a rejection of what appears to be then.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I'm saying nothing changed.
Yeah.
Nothing changed. No matter how much you think you're getting closer to it, you're not ever.
Oh no, if you think you're getting closer to it, then it's two then. Then it's you and something that you can get closer to. This is not two. So the very yearning is already it.
And in a strange way, but you see, I don't want to hear that.
Of course you don't want to hear that. Definitely not. And I've no interest in you. And that's unconditional love.
Oh, and even in the hopelessness and the desperation, you know, I find hope. Oh yeah, now I'm closer because I'm desperate and hopeless.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It's like it's a relentless nothing that I understand mentally that it's nothing, but it's not the experiential, because there's still this drive here. There's still this relentless wanting to get something.
Yeah. And that's energy. That's just what's appearing to happen.
And then, like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, that's good then.
I wouldn't say that. Because I have to arrive somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for nothing, man.
Thanks. Music to my ears. Thanks for nothing.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Yeah, you too, Joey, yeah. Hi, Kim.
Hey, Kenneth. Kenneth, it seems so simple what you're talking about, and it is. And in a way, when we are talking about laughing, I look at you apparently that you laugh all the time in a way like Buster Keaton, this comic person. It's just laughable. Also, your response to all our different stories, even if they seem really seriously and important, it is really easy at the same time to sense the laughable click.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it's everything is just a story. So all the when that sense of being a person is no longer there, all the meaning just goes out of everything. There's no meaning in anything anymore. The meaning was only there when you were there, apparently. So when there's no meaning in anything, there's just a lightness to everything, an effervescence, and just everything is just aliveness. So that aliveness can be joyous and laughter, and it can be tears and sadness too, and that's it's just what appears to happen.
Yeah. And before when you were talking to, I don't know, it was really touchable at the same time, with in a light way. And it's funny, in a way, I get used to this when I laugh about this message. Then there can come this afterwards. Oh, you are silly. And it's just also what you will say. It's just what appears that it is silly to laugh. It's so
there's just what's appearing to happen. So there's laughter, and then if there's "oh, you're silly," which is a thought, then there's just that thought, isn't there? That's simply that. It's amazing. There's just what's appearing to happen. It's thoughts, emotions, sensations. It's amazing, and that's what. And when there's a person, then there's I'm thinking, I'm laughing, I'm sitting, and that it's the same and it's totally different.
Yeah,
it's incomparable.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Thanks to you.
Thanks, guys. I'm going to put a link in the chat if anyone wants to contribute. Great to see everyone. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Kenneth.
I have a residential in next weekend?
Yes, thank you.
It's the weekend after. A residential 2 weeks' time. But anyway, I'll send an email. All right, guys.
Thank you. It was
Thanks,
great.
guys. See you guys.
Thanks,
Take care.
Kenneth.
Bye.
Thank you. See you.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.